The night was cold, dark, and strangely quiet as Evan walked home through the forest. He had finished a long day of work, and all he wanted was to reach his small cabin at the edge of the woods. But something about this night felt different. The wind was soft but carried a strange metallic smell, and the trees stood still like they were watching him. Evan moved carefully, his boots pressing on dry leaves with a crisp sound. He had walked this path 1,000 times, yet tonight every shadow felt alive. Halfway down the trail, he suddenly stopped. He heard something very soft. Almost like a tiny cry, Evan listened again. Another cry came, weak and scared. It sounded close, maybe 20 feet away. He felt a chill run down his back. No children lived anywhere near this forest, so who was crying at this hour? He followed the sound slowly, pushing branches aside. His flashlight cut through the darkness. Then he saw them, two small figures hiding behind a fallen tree. Their bodies were shaking, and their glowing blue eyes stared at him with fear. They were not human. Their skin was smooth and light silver, and their hair was fine like threads of white light. They looked like children, maybe 7 or 8 years old, but definitely not from Earth. For a moment, Evan froze. He had never seen aliens in his life. He never even imagined he would face something like this in a quiet forest. But the fear in their eyes was real. It was the same fear he had seen in lost human children. That fear pulled him forward. "It's okay." "I won't hurt you," Evan whispered, keeping his voice low and calm. The two alien girls pressed closer to each other. One of them covered her face. The other reached a trembling hand toward him as if asking for help, but afraid to come near. Suddenly, a deep sound echoed in the forest, a heavy growl. Slow and close, Evan felt the ground shake lightly. The girls gasped and held on to each other. They looked over his shoulder like something terrible was coming. Evan turned his flashlight behind him. But the trees swallowed the light. He saw nothing. But he felt something moving among the shadows. He knew he couldn't leave the girls here. Whatever was hunting them was coming closer. He reached out his hand. "Come with me. You're not safe here," he said firmly. The older girl looked at him for a long second, then grabbed his hand with surprising strength. The younger one followed quickly. Clutching her sister's arm tightly, Evan lifted them up. One in each arm, they were light, almost weightless. He ran through the trees as fast as he could. The forest behind him cracked with heavy steps. Something was following them. He didn't look back. He didn't want to know how close it was. After what felt like forever, he reached the porch of his cabin. He pushed open the door and rushed inside. Locking it behind them, the girls were still shaking. Evan placed them gently on the couch. Their big glowing eyes watched every move he made. They looked frightened, but also relieved to be inside. "Are you hurt?" he asked. The older girl shook her head, but tears fell from her eyes. The younger one held her small hands against her chest, protecting something under her clothes. Evan noticed a faint glow pulsing near her collarbone. He didn't know what it meant, but he could tell it was important. Outside, something heavy moved past the cabin walls. The wood creaked softly. Evan stood still, listening. His heart pounded. The girls held their breath. The danger outside was real, and it was not going away tonight. And as Evan looked at the two alien girls sitting in his home, he knew one thing for sure: his life had just changed forever. And nothing would be the same after this night. Evan's cabin felt warmer than the forest. But the fear inside the room was still strong. The two alien girls sat close together on the couch, their silver skin shining softly under the dim light. Evan moved slowly, not wanting to scare them more. He placed a blanket over their shoulders, and they held it tightly like it was the only safe thing left in their world. For a moment, no one spoke. The younger girl kept her small hands pressed over the glowing mark under her collarbone. The older girl kept watching the window as if she expected something to burst inside at any moment. Evan sat across from them, trying to understand what he should do next. He had found lost animals before, even helped injured hikers. But helping to alien children was something he never imagined. Finally, the older girl whispered, her voice soft and shaking, "You saved us." "Thank you, human." Evan was surprised she could speak his language. "What happened to you?" He asked gently, "Where are your parents?" The younger girl looked at her sister, waiting for her to explain. "Our mother is coming," the older one said slowly. Her glowing blue eyes filled with both hope and fear, but something else came before her. "Something bad?" Evan leaned forward. "What do you mean?" She opened the blanket a little and pointed at the younger girl's chest. The glow under her clothes brightened for a second, shining through the fabric. "She carries a mark," the older girl continued. "It is rare, and many want to take her because of it." Evan did not understand everything, but he understood enough. These girls were running from someone or something that wanted to capture them. Who were those sounds in the forest? He asked. "Hunters," the older one replied. "They follow the scent of the mark. They want power. They don't care who they hurt." The younger girl shook her head quickly. Tears forming in her eyes, she whispered one word. "Scary." Evan felt a sharp anger rise in his chest. No child, human or alien, does serve to be hunted like an animal. "You're safe here," he said firmly. "No one will take you as long as you're with me." The older girl stared at him for a moment, confused. "You? Protect us?" she asked, like she didn't understand why a human would risk his life for strangers from another world. "Yes," Evan said, without hesitation. "I won't let anyone hurt you." The younger girl slowly reached toward Evan's hand, touching him with her small, glowing fingers. She seemed curious, like she had never touched a human before. A soft light pulsed from her skin where they made contact. Evan felt a warm, gentle wave move up his arm. He pulled back softly. "Surprised, but not scared?" "What was that?" he asked. The older girl's expression changed. "She is special," she whispered. "Her mark is not just rare. It can connect with hearts. It can sense danger and kindness." Evan looked at the younger girl again. She smiled weakly, as if trying to show she trusted him. "When will your mother arrive?" he asked. "Soon," the older one said, "but the hunters are close too." She pointed at the door as another heavy movement shifted outside on the porch. Evan grabbed the small hunting rifle he kept near the wall. It wouldn't do much against creatures from another world, but it was all he had. The girls tensed, holding on to each other tightly. The cabin lights flickered for a second. Something scraped across the outer wall, along slow drag that made Evan's heart freeze. He stepped between the girls and the window. "Stay behind me," he whispered. The older girl whispered, "Human, why do you help us?" Evan did not turn around, but his answer was simple. "Because someone has to." Outside, the forest went silent again. Too silent. And Evan knew this night was far from over. The cabin felt smaller as the night grew darker. Every sound outside felt sharper, heavier, more dangerous. Evan stood near the window with his old rifle in his hands. But he knew it would not be enough against whatever hunted the alien girls. The two children stayed behind him on the couch, wrapped in the blanket like it was their shield. Their glowing blue eyes followed every move he made. They trusted him now, but they were still terrified. A sudden thump shook the wooden wall. The younger girl gasped and grabbed her sister's arm. Evan held his breath, listening. Another thump came, this time closer, almost like a creature testing the cabin's strength. He stepped to the door quietly. His heart beat loud in his chest. The older girl whispered, "They found us." Evan swallowed hard. "What are they?" he asked, keeping his voice steady for the children's sake. The older girl answered slowly, "Hunters from the dark world, they smell the mark. They follow it no matter where we run. The younger girl pulled the blanket over her glowing collarbone. Trying to hide the mark, even though Evan knew it wouldn't help, the hunters were already here. Another sound echoed, this time a scratch across the wooden planks. Long, slow, and sharp, the girls covered their ears, shaking. Evan aimed the rifle toward the window, even though he could not see anything yet. A strange, low growl vibrated through the walls, deeper than any animal he had ever heard. It wasn't a wolf or a bear or anything from Earth. It sounded like something that belonged to a nightmare. The older girl whispered, "They move in groups, if one is here." More will come. Evan felt a cold weight settle in his chest. He needed a plan. He needed to protect them until sunrise or until their mother arrived. "How strong are they?" he asked. The older girl looked down. "Too strong for humans. Maybe too strong for us too." Then the window beside Evan shook violently. A dark shadow flashed across the glass. Evan stepped back, raising the rifle. Another growl rattled the door. A creature outside scraped its claws against the wood as if trying to peel it open. Evan moved fast, pushing a heavy table against the door. "Help me," he said, and the girls hurried over, using their small strength to hold the other side. The cabin lights flickered again. The younger girl's mark glowed brighter. Pulsing with fear, Evan noticed it. "Is it hurting you?" he asked. She shook her head. "It reacts to danger. It warns us." The glow increased, filling the room with a faint silver light. The shadow outside the window stopped moving. Like the creature sensed something unusual inside, Evan whispered, "Maybe they don't like the light." But the older girl shook her head. "No, they like fear. They feel it." Evan steadied his breathing, trying to stay calm for the children's sake. He moved back toward the window slowly. The shadow returned bigger this time, and closer. Evan finally saw a piece of it through the glass. Long claws like metal. Skin as dark as coal, and eyes shaped like burning red stars. He froze for a second. The creature was staring right at him, studying him, judging him. The girls whimpered behind him. Evan tightened his grip on the rifle. "Stay behind me," he whispered again. The creature pushed its face closer to the window, fogging the glass with a deep, rumbling breath. For a moment, the world went silent. Then bam! It slammed into the wall so hard, the entire cabin shook. The younger girl screamed. Evan fired one warning shot into the ceiling, hoping the noise would scare it away. The creature paused, then backed away slowly into the forest darkness. For a moment, Evan thought it was over, but then 3 more growls answered from deeper in the woods. The older girl whispered with trembling lips. They called for the others. Evan felt the blood drain from his face. He pushed the girls toward the back room. "Stay low, stay quiet," he said firmly. He stood in the doorway, ready, knowing the hunters would not stop now. This night was turning into a battle for survival, and Evan was the only shield these alien children had. The growls faded slowly, swallowed by the deep forest. Evan kept the rifle raised, watching every shadow outside the window. The cabin walls were trembling from the last impact. But for a moment, everything became strangely calm. To calm, the girls hid behind Evan, holding each other tightly. Their glowing eyes kept drifting toward the door, as if they expected the hunters to return at any second. Then something changed. The air inside the cabin grew warmer, like a soft wave of heat was rolling across the forest. The younger girl lifted her head, her glowing mark pulsing brighter. "She's coming," she whispered. Evan turned to her. "Who?" The older girl answered with a shaking voice. "Our mother. She's close." Before he could ask anything else, a bright flash of light burst through the forest outside. It wasn't like a flashlight or car headlights. It was pure white light falling from the sky in a straight beam. The kind of light that could turn night into morning. Evan shielded his eyes. The girls dropped to their knees, whispering in their alien language, trembling but with hope this time, not fear. The beam touched the ground somewhere behind the cabin, and the earth shook gently like something massive had just landed. The hunters in the forest screamed a horrible, sharp sound, and then silence washed over the woods again. Complete silence, not a single growl, not a single step. The forest had gone dead still. Evan lowered the rifle slowly, confused and cautious. "What's happening?" he asked. His voice felt small in the heavy silence. The girls stood up slowly, their eyes glowing bright with relief. "She scared them away," the older one said. "Hunters fear her. Everyone fears her." Evan felt a strange chill run through him. If the hunters' true monsters feared this mother, then who or what was she? Suddenly, heavy footsteps approached the cabin, but not the wild, scratchy steps of the hunters. These steps were steady, slow, powerful. Like something extremely strong was walking with purpose. Evan's heart pounded. He pointed the rifle toward the door, but his hands shook slightly. The girls hurried to him. "Don't shoot," the older one cried. "She will not hurt you." Evan lowered the gun a little, but his pulse stayed sharp and tense. The door creaked as the footsteps stopped right outside. Evan felt the air change like the room itself was breathing. Then the door handle turned slowly. Evan stepped back. The girls rushed forward, and the door opened. There she stood, the alien mother. She was tall, almost 7 feet, with elegant, smooth silver skin like her daughter's, but her presence was completely different. Her eyes were brighter, deeper, ancient even, glowing with swirling light inside them. Her hair flowed like strands of moonlight, shifting softly as if the air moved around her. She wore armor that looked carved from starlight itself, shimmering, with soft gold lines that pulsed like heartbeat patterns. But what struck Evan most wasn't her size or her power, it was the expression on her face. Her eyes widened the moment she saw her daughters alive. She rushed forward and wrapped them both in her arms, pulling them close, whispering words in a language that sounded like wind and bells. The girls cried into her chest, shaking with relief and love for a long moment. The mother didn't even look at Evan. She was too busy checking the girls' faces, touching their cheeks, running her hands through their glowing hair, making sure they were truly alive. Evan watched quietly, feeling strangely emotional, even though he didn't fully understand the moment. Then the mother finally turned to him, her glowing eyes locked onto his, and Evan felt his breath catch in his throat. Her stare was powerful. Not human, it felt like she could see inside him his fears, his thoughts, his intentions, everything. For a second, he wondered if she would be angry that a human had touched her daughters, but instead, she slowly kneeled before him, lowering her head in a gesture he did not understand. The girls looked up at him through tears, smiling softly. The mother spoke in clear, calm English, her voice deep and full of strength. "You saved my children," she said. "I am in your debt, human." Evan stood frozen, unsure what to say. His world had turned upside down in one night, and he had no idea the biggest surprise was still waiting for him. Tomorrow, the shocking gift she had brought. Evan stood speechless as the alien mother kneeled before him. He had never seen anything like her, powerful, radiant, almost royal, yet here she was, bowing to a Puton simple human man in a wooden cabin. The two alien girls stayed close to her, holding onto her arms, afraid to let go even for a second. The mother rose slowly and looked around the small cabin, her glowing eyes scanning every corner as if checking for danger still hiding nearby. "You were hunted," Evan said quietly. "They were right outside." The mother nodded, her expression hardening. "Yes, the hunters have tracked us for many cycles." She placed her hand gently on the younger girl's glowing mark. Because of this, Evan stepped closer. "What is that mark? Why is it so important?" The mother took a deep breath, and the lights on her armor dimmed slightly. "My daughters belong to a rare bloodline," she explained, "a line born only once every 1,000 years. A line that carries the starlight pulse, the power to sense danger, truth, and life itself." Evan remembered the warm glow the younger girl had sent through his arm. "So that's why they want her," he whispered. The mother nodded. "Yes. Many species believe the mark can be harvested, used like a weapon or tool. They do not care about the children. They care only about the power inside them." The older girl held her sister tightly, a deep fear filling her eyes. Evan felt anger rise again. "So you were running?" he asked. "Running across planets, across space." The mother looked down. "We left our homeworld. We hid in silent zones. We traveled through dark systems. But the hunters always found the scent of the mark. Asha. I sent a message for help, but our ship was attacked before I could reach my people." She touched her daughters' faces gently. "I thought they were lost forever, until I felt the mark pulse again. A sign they were alive." The younger girl looked at Evan and whispered, "When you held me." "It sent the signal." Evan blinked. "Me." The mother studied him carefully. "Yes, human. Something about you allowed her pulse to reach me across the sky." Evan didn't know whether to feel honored or confused. "I was just trying to help," he said softly. The mother tilted her head. "Helping without reason is rare in the galaxy. Many species help only when they gain something." A heavy thump echoed outside, again farther away this time. But still present, the mother's expression grew sharp and cold. "The hunters are wounded, but not gone. They will return." Evan tightened his grip on the rifle, even though he knew it was useless. "So what happens now?" he asked. "Do you run again? Do you hide somewhere else?" The mother shook her head slowly. "No, running will never end the hunt." Her eyes glowed brighter. "There is only one way. The girls must reach our sanctuary. Our homeworld is protected by an ancient shield. No hunter can enter it." Evan nodded. "Then go. I'll keep them safe until you leave." But the girls suddenly moved toward him, refusing to let go of his arm. The older one whispered, "We don't want to leave you." Evan felt his chest tighten. He didn't expect that. He didn't expect to care about them either, but after everything tonight, he couldn't imagine sending them off alone. The mother watched the moment silently, and a small, warm smile crossed her face. "They chose you," she said softly. Evan looked confused. "Chose me for what?" The mother stepped closer, her armor shining softly like morning light. "To carry the bond," she said. "To protect the mark with us, to stand with our family." Evan blinked. "Me? I'm just one man. I don't have powers. I don't have training. I don't even understand your world." The mother touched her daughters' heads gently. "You protected them when even hunters walked at your door. That is more than enough." Evan felt a strange feeling growing inside him, fear, hope, confusion all mixing together. "What does this bond mean?" he asked slowly. The mother's eyes glowed brighter. "It means tomorrow. I will give you something no human has ever received." Evan swallowed hard. The suspense hung heavy in the air. He had no idea that the shocking gift waiting for him would change the course of his entire life, and maybe the galaxy's future. Morning arrived slowly, painting the forest with a soft golden light. But the peaceful sunrise did not match the tension inside Evan's cabin. He barely slept. The alien girls slept close to him on the floor, finally calm after their mother's arrival. The mother stood near the window all night, watching the forest, guarding her children. Every few minutes, she looked toward the trees as if she could sense distant threats that Evan could not see. When the sun fully rose, she finally turned to Evan. Her armor shimmered in the light. "It is time," she said. Evan felt his stomach tighten. Time for what? The mother did not answer. Instead, she moved closer to him with slow, graceful steps. The girls woke and ran to her side, holding her hands tightly as if they already knew something important was about to happen. The mother placed her hand gently on Evan's chest. Right above his heart, a faint warmth spread under her touch. "Last night," she said. "You asked what the bond means." Evan nodded. "Nervous?" "Yes." "And you said I would receive something today." The mother's glowing eyes softened. "You deserve a gift given only to those with pure courage." Evan stepped back slightly. "Gift? I don't understand." The mother lowered herself to one knee, something Evan still wasn't used to seeing. She held out her hand, and a light formed above her palm. It started small like a spark, but then it grew, twisting and shaping itself into a glowing cube the size of a fist. It floated gently, humming like a heartbeat made of light. The girls gasped with excitement. "The Life Bond Cube," the older one whispered. Evan felt a chill of awe crawl up his spine. The cube rotated slowly, shining with silver and gold patterns that moved like living light. "What? What is it?" he asked quietly. The mother lifted the cube higher. "This holds part of our heart energy. It is our legacy, our strength. Our truth," she explained, "by giving this to you. I make you family." Evan blinked in shock. "Family?" She nodded. "You risked your life for children who were not yours. You protected them with no reward, no promise, no fear. That act is sacred in our culture." The cube floated closer to Evan, humming louder as if it recognized him. Evan stepped back. "Scared? Will it hurt me?" The mother smiled softly. "Only if your heart is unclean. And yours is not." The girls took his hands and pulled him closer. "Please take it," the younger one said. "You saved us." "Let our mother save you too." Evan swallowed hard. He couldn't deny the connection he felt with these children. He couldn't deny how the night had changed him. Slowly, he reached out with trembling fingers. The cube floated right into his hands, warm and strangely soft like light turned into silk. The second his skin touched it, the cube exploded silently, beautifully into a stream of bright energy that wrapped around him like ribbons of silver fire. The girls gasped, and the mother bowed her head as if witnessing a holy ritual. Evan felt the energy slide into his skin, into his chest, into his heart. It wasn't painful, just overwhelming. It felt like someone poured strength, calmness, and clarity into his body all at once. He dropped to one knee, breathing hard. The light faded slowly, leaving a symbol glowing faintly on his chest, the same symbol the younger girl carried. "What? What did you do to me?" Evan said, breathless but not afraid. The mother rose and placed a hand on his shoulder. "You now carry part of the starlight pulse," she said. "You will feel danger before it arrives. You will sense life the way we do. And the hunters can no longer track the girls by scent alone. Their mark is now shared with you." Evan stared at her, stunned. "Why me?" The mother smiled gently. "Because you chose us when you did not have to." The girls hugged him tightly. Glowing with joy, Evan looked at the symbol on his chest. Feeling warmth spread through his entire body. He had no idea what this new power meant or how it would change his future. But he knew one thing clearly. He was no longer just a protector. He was now part of their family. The cabin felt different now. Almost alive, the morning light touched Evan's skin. And for the first time, he felt something new, an awareness. A soft pulse deep inside his chest, like a second heartbeat made of light. The symbol the cube left on him glowed softly under his shirt. He placed his hand over it. Feeling warmth spread across his body, he was still human. Yet something inside him had changed forever. The alien mother watched him silently, her glowing eyes filled with respect. "You carry the pulse now," she said softly. "You are connected to my daughters." And to me. The girls stood beside Evan, holding his hands tightly. Their small silver fingers glowed where they touched him. The younger girl leaned against his arm like she already accepted him as part of her world. Her sister looked proud, like they had chosen the right person to trust. Evan tried to understand everything at once. So, what happens now? He asked, still overwhelmed. The mother stepped closer. Her armor shimmering like starlight, moving under her skin. Now, she said, we must return to our world. Evan felt a sharp pain in his chest knot from the bond. But from the thought of losing them, you're leaving? He asked quietly. The mother nodded. The hunters will not stop unless we reach the sanctuary. Once we cross the shield, they cannot follow. The girls looked sad, their glowing eyes dimming slightly. Evan knelt beside them. It's okay, he whispered. You'll be safe there. The younger girl tugged on his sleeve. Come with us, she said softly, raising her eyes to meet his. Her voice carried a simple truth. She didn't want to lose him either. The older girl nodded quickly. Please come. You are part of the bond now. Evan looked at the mother, unsure. Is that even possible? Humans can't survive in space like you can. The mother raised her hand, and a small floating device appeared in her palm, swirling with golden light. We have technology that adapts life, she explained, and now that you carry the pulse, the transition will be even easier for you. Evan stood silent. Shock mixed with curiosity and fear inside him. A whole new world. A new species. A new future. He looked out the window at his quiet forest. His small cabin, the life he knew since childhood. Everything here felt familiar, but suddenly too small. Too simple for what he had become overnight. He turned to the girls again, their eyes filled with hope. If you come, the older one whispered, you will not be alone. You will have us. Evan smiled softly. I know, he said. And I don't want to lose you either. The mother stepped forward. The decision is yours, human, she said. But no, this our world will welcome you. My people will honor you. And my daughters will never forget what you did before Evan could answer. A loud, distant roar echoed through the forest. The cabin windows rattled. The hunters were not finished. The mother spun toward the sound, her armor glowing brighter. They are coming, she warned. They feel the pulse shifting. Evan felt the symbol on his chest burn with heat like a signal of danger approaching. He grabbed the girl's hands instinctively. Pulling them closer, the mother extended her arm, and a bright circular portal opened in the middle of the cabin, swirling with silver clouds and golden stars. The air around it buzzed with powerful energy. Our world is on the other side, she said urgently. We must go now. Evan stared at the portal, breathing fast, his old life behind him. A new universe in front of him. The girls squeezed his hands. Trembling but hopeful, he looked down at them. Then at the forest behind him. Then at the glowing doorway opening into another world. And he stepped forward, not because he felt brave, not because he understood everything, but because he knew the girls needed him, and he needed them too. The light swallowed them as they crossed through the portal together. The mother stepped in last, and just before the portal closed, she whispered one final line into the fading world behind them. Welcome to your new destiny, human.